we're going to bring in our final audience of appliance pros. And this is my favorite group. This is delivery, install, service. This is where the rubber meets the road. We can talk marketing, we talk sales, and often that's weeks, months, years before the appliance actually gets delivered. These folks are the last touch with the customer. So, for delivery, it's more straight ahead with a range. But for install, is there anything that the installation of your ranges that makes these folks' lives a little easier?
Yes, this is actually, I think, one of the most important demos because they are the delivery, they are the installers, and this is the last touch point that our customers get, right? And because we offer lifetime warranty on our products, which is extremely bold, when there does need to be a repair, that is going to be the most important piece for the longevity of our brand, right? So this is a very important piece for us. And I think that, the most important thing that we can do is design a really good product that's very repairable, design a product that is very easily, you can install it very easily. So this is what's really cool about induction and electric specifically is you don't have to mess with gas. You don't, it's just electric. So in most scenarios where you had a convection oven, you're going to have a 220 plug right there. So I would say the vast majority of people upgrading from gas to induction technology, they're going to be able to just tap their gas line and plug it right in, like
Right.
slide plug. Amazing. And then for the customers that don't have that plug, that have just the gas, then you can hire an electrician. An electrician can easily run a 220. It's a much easier install than having to run a gas line because you can just run that electrical wire underneath. There's a lot of solutions to that, and you'll have to hire an electrician to do that. But once you have it, it's plug and play. So the install process is really very simple, and then the repair process is really cool too. And we're working on this right now. You know, One of the big challenges is getting the right tech out that can solve the problem. Well, because we're all electric, this opens us up to a Rolodex of electricians that is massive.
Right.
And that solves a ton of problems if we're having trouble getting a customer taken care of. In my career in gas appliances, you really needed a pro. We are going to have really great materials, really every problem that arises, an electrician will be certified to take care of. And that's going to be an easy phone call. It'll be expensive for us. However, we'll be able to get someone, cooking for Thanksgiving and not writing us one of those just like devastating reviews. So I don't, so yeah. So that's, yeah. So does that answer your question there, Anthony?
It does. And going down the service road, you talked about, high quality builds and you plan on having a lot of stock. And what about parts? So speaking, if I was a servicer, I'm getting certified that I can repair induction
Yeah.
hardware appliances, but I need parts. How challenging or how are you addressing that?
So we're just gonna have to stockpile parts. That's so far our defect rate has been very low, lower than I believe industry standards and what I'm used to with my 10 years in the industry. So that's a good thing, but we're gonna have to stock parts. There's things like even though that we're using ceramic glass, we're using the best glass, and it's actually designed to be really tough. And Apple every year says they have the strongest glass. I literally was last night. I was in the iPhone store because my glass broke. Right, so I'm getting a case now. The strongest glass. What does that mean? So we realized we sell glass appliances, glass doors, glass cooktops. So these things will break. It's just a matter of time before a kid brings a baseball bat and hits it or something. So whatever, for lack of a better example. So we're going to make sure that these are repairable, and we're going to have inventory of these. And if we don't have inventory of the parts, then we'll cannibalize. And that's, as a manufacturer, a disaster to cannibalize new product. So it's in our interest to make sure that we have plenty of parts for repairs. Because the most important piece for us is we're going to make sure that the customer's taken care of at all costs. And as you're building a brand, that I think is going to be what separates us from other companies. And so if you can't take care of your customers, you're not going to have a brand that lasts. And we have leaned into this. This is the most important piece for us.
That's huge. And the servicers are going to want to know because it falls on them. As soon as they take the call and they're on the job, then it's on them. So they know that it's supported, they can feel more confident about service than them. Now, what about training and boning up on service? How can servicers or anyone that plans on servicing these appliances learn how to?
So I think that comes down to our documentation. So we actually have one of the best guys in the industry tearing our stuff apart right now. We've built the largest Cycwall studio in all of northern Nevada for this, and we're just filming videos, and it takes some time to get through the videos. But by the time we're hitting volume, we're going to have videos and how tos and make it really organized, really cool. So any tech can just go in and watch it. And like my goal, and this is something that it's a little bit, maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to. But my goal is something where it's like a customer doesn't want to wait for the technician. They want to fix it themselves. I want every video to be that easy. I ship them a part. Hey, I don't want to hire somebody, even though you're going to pay for it. I don't care. I'll just do it myself. I want to talk to those customers, and that will also relay the really easy documentation for the pros. And then the pros are going to be juiced because like, oh, they made this to be dummy proof. We're not going to have to call and spend hours on the phone. And if they do have to call us, we have technicians that are ready to answer those questions directly, that are professionals, not just customer service reps from China or India or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they can't help you at all. We're a US company, and you're going to talk to us and we're going to solve it for you.
That's fantastic, Galen. And it sounds like you and your team have really checked a lot of boxes at appliances, like really looked at the issues in the appliance industry and how they can be addressed, and that your plans are and you already have been addressing them. So I'm excited for you guys and excited to see how this grows.